All right, thank you everybody for being here. Tonight is our official last night of our In.Form transformation journey. Tonight we're going to be covering module number 12 and module number 13. We're going to expand a little bit more on our social environments and learn about who is your frenemy, who may be wanting to sabotage your goals or may not necessarily be on page with you with what you're doing. So we're going to work on that a little bit and establish that to make sure that we're all aware of any obstacles that may come about, especially during this time of the year. We're going to work on also how you take this healthy lifestyle and you continue moving on with it. We're going to talk about different options that you have. We've got a maintenance program that you can do with In.Form. We've got several other options too surrounding that. So just kind of throwing some ideas out at you. So I want you guys to really be thinking tonight, because I am going to be giving you a questionnaire on where you want to go from here. So that way I'm aware of what your goals are and find out what I can do to help facilitate you moving into that next direction, whatever that may be. So we are going to be doing some goal evaluation things as well tonight. Shiree, of course, mentioned to most everybody, I think last week you got an idea that Shiree was going to be starting a new program that she's putting together. So she's going to spend some time tonight also sharing with us what that is all about and how that can potentially assist you too in continuing your In.Form transformation journey as we wrap this class up. Just as a quick reminder, we are having one more class next Monday night only. So Monday night only, we're having a class. We're going to be doing a special video that really helps us to pull together all the information that we've learned over the last 12 weeks and really put it into play and really see why it's so important. And some of the background information as to why toxicity and nutrition and maybe sometimes the Western medicine may be interfering with our goals. And so that's all going to help bring that to light. So make sure that everybody still plans on being here Monday night. We are going to do BioTracker readings for those of you who still want to do BioTracker readings next week. Some of you may just want to have tonight as your last one. Some of you I know maybe started a week or two late, so you're going to want to have your BioTrackers in next week. So I'll still send out a reminder text for everybody, but we will be doing BioTrackers, and we may be starting those a little bit early since we expect both Monday night and Tuesday night's class to be here next week. So got that. Let's see. Also going to talk a little bit tonight about the future of In.Form and Enid, Oklahoma, and what that's kind of looking like as well, because I have had some people mention to me that they're very interested in bringing in some class or doing some more classes and or other people that they may know that may be interested. So we're going to talk about that also. So, all right. So tonight we're going to talk first on module number 12. And the module number 12 is all about importance of social networks. So if everybody wants to go to their In.Form participant manual, page number 93, it talks about how you may be finding yourself making different choices than what your friends and your family do. You may have kind of realized that, especially after the holiday last week, if you participated in that, that you may be making some different decisions than Uncle Ed is, or Cousin Marla, or whatever. So we want to realize that, hey, that's happening, and how do we handle that? We're going to show you how to avoid temptation when you're surrounded by old patterns. And we're also going to help you to learn how to communicate with your social network to let them know what your goals are so they can be on board with you in whatever capacity that may mean for them. So page number 94 that talks about you are what your friends eat. Unhealthy eating can be contagious. We are more likely to gain weight if we have friends that are overweight or heavier than us. And we are more likely to lose weight if we have friends and family that are thinner than us or are losing weight. It just kind of goes in spectrum with that. So we need to be able to kind of look at who we're surrounding ourselves with on a regular basis, because just that influence alone will make a difference in what happens with you. That doesn't mean we have to judge or discriminate or anything like that. It's just creating an awareness. Our environment continually has an impact on where our health goes. From the air we breathe, to the water we drink, to the foods we eat, to the energies of the people that are around us, to the social networks that we have, friends and family. So we just got to be aware so we can make the choices and be prepared ahead of time when we're with maybe a particular group that is not the best influence on your health goals. So let's go to page number 95. Communication is the key. Communication rules the nation was a saying that was said to me many years ago. And the more that I mature and the more that I teach classes, the more that I realize how important it really is. I mean, communication is very, very important for others to understand where we're coming from. We've got to be able to communicate our goals and our desires in an effective way that doesn't offend somebody, but lets them know that, hey, this is the choices that I'm making. We need to be open and honest with your circle of acquaintances. And you may actually want to approach this as enlisting their help, as saying, hey, you know what, I'm on this health journey, I'm already starting to gain some muscle mass, or I'm already starting to lose some weight, or I'm already starting to, whatever it is happening for you, anything you can do to assist me with that, I'd really appreciate. So that kind of puts them in the mindset of, hey, I want to support this person in a positive manner. So, it's not like, hey, don't be bringing around those brownies anymore. No, that's not how we need to communicate that. Who's doing that? Is Lynn bringing the brownies around, or are you doing it, Frankie? Looks like we need to help Lynn with communication skills. Is your fama enemy? All right, so we want to invite them to share in your food and exercise plans, but you don't rely on them to help you with your habits either. So there's a fine line where we don't rely on them, but still we enlist their help in as much as we possibly can. Because people always like, at some capacity, to feel like they're on board with what you're doing, especially if you got a good relationship with them. They want to help you because you're probably helping them in some way, shape, or form. Remember, you can be the one to reverse the trend and establish healthier social norms. You can be that person that does that. Page number 96 talks about enablers, accomplices, and frenemies. Oh my. Non-supportive family members and friends can obstruct your attempt to engage in healthy eating. You need cheerleaders, not detractors. And I'm not saying that you don't want to hang out with these people, but you need to be aware going into the situation. You need to be able to have a game plan set in place if you're going to be around somebody that maybe wants to be, a food pusher. My mom was always a perfect example of this. I mean, I could never go home and see her without having to have something on a plate in front of me. And so I really had to find constructive ways as I was making that 9-hour drive to go see her. Okay, how can I outline for my mom what I'm doing without offending her because, oh, I raised you, you turned out just fine. Well, anyway, all of those things that you hear from a mom, it's naturally normal. But you just got to be able to really look at what can you do to not offend this person, but help them, because obviously your mom probably wants to see you healthy, right? Your mom probably wants to see you happy. Mom, you know what? I feel better, have more energy. I'm just healthier when I eat this way. And then it helps take it away from them and really just put it on you that, hey, that you're making this choice. Food pushers will urge you to eat, and they will urge you to overeat. And a lot of times, another way of looking at this is remembering people who are food pushers usually have a reason they're doing it, and it's not you. It's them. They've got something going on within themselves that makes them feel better when they push food out to other people, because maybe they're constantly pushing it to themselves. Maybe they have an issue with some kind, maybe a self-confidence issue, or just something that's going on within themselves. And so in a weird kind of way, it makes them feel better when they push food on you, okay? So we've also got to take that standpoint and be able to say, okay, how can we not offend this person, but maybe even potentially help this person all at the same time? And so this is where communication comes so important. True friends, true coaches and mentors are going to support your positive behaviors. Frenemies encourage negative behaviors. As you focus on new healthy behaviors and create results, they will take notice. You have a crucial conversation with them at this point in time when they start to take notice, when they start to say something to you, hey, I noticed, your pants are a little baggier than normal. Or, oh, you need to go shopping because your clothes, you need clothes that fit better. Let them know that you're on a serious path to new health. Let them know that it's not just about losing weight. It's about being healthy from the inside out, because you never ever know whose life you could literally save by assisting them and sharing what you're doing in a conscious and creative way that doesn't offend them but supports them and shows that you can support them as well. Page number 97 talks about dining with friends and hold the guilt. Following the food plan doesn't mean you can't go out in public. I mean, you can still go to social events. You can still go to public events. It's just now you're going in with a different set of eyes, a different level of awareness. And by going into these public situations, you can make a difference for other people, and you most certainly can make a difference for yourself. So here are some tips to help you succeed when you do go to dining out or you go to any kind of social event. We've talked about this before. Do a protein shake before you ever go. Protein, if you all remember, helps us think a little clearer, helps us make a few better choices, helps us maybe figure out how to communicate a little more properly and have the right words at the tip of your tongue. So think about getting that protein in. But make sure you order your sauces and your dressings on the side. Ask the server to put half your meal on the plate and the other half in a to-go box. Ask that foods be prepared with minimal olive oil or butter. All of these things are up to you. You are the consumer. 2, we can make healthy substitutions. Request that foods be steamed, baked, broiled, or grilled. If you eat red meat, select leaner cuts. Substitute a salad or vegetables for the loaded baked potato. There are all sorts of options you can follow here. Substitute fresh fruits for desserts. Number 3, other bright ideas. Visit the restaurant's webpage before you even go. Instead of sitting there trying to fast decide what's the best healthy thing for you to do, take time before you even go, when you don't have the pressure of family or friends sitting around you, and figure out what you're going to order before you even go. Look at the menu. Pick up the phone. Call them. Okay? You've got these options to be prepared ahead of time. If you're looking for Chinese, Indian, or Thai, order meat and vegetable dishes and pass on the rice and noodles. If you're doing Italian, just order chicken, meat, fish dishes with vegetable sides and stay away from the pasta and the breads. Delis or diners, order homemade soups and salads. And for salads, you can always use lemon slices and olive oil on the side to avoid dressings. Balsamic vinegar is something really popular too that a lot of restaurants are carrying. Ask them what they have for salad dressing options that aren't actual salad dressings. Most of your waiters and waitresses are going to have an idea of what that already is, so that way you can get some better options. Page number 99, snack attack, fight back. Here again, we need to continually make sure we're on our guard and we're prepared ahead of time. These ideas will help you if you are craving salty. You can eat any of these foods here if you're craving salty, and that alone is going to help you with that. Pumpkin seed shells, tomato slices, kale pieces on a cookie sheet, all sorts of things here that can help you with salty cravings. If you're craving sweet, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter and 4 celery stalks. That's going to help you with craving sweets. You can even do Greek yogurt. You can even do blended frozen strawberries and bananas. I mean, it's very easy to make nice, sweet, satisfying foods from healthy foods we already have available to us. And of course, other snack ideas, hard-boiled eggs. Make sure you have plenty of nuts around. If you like nuts, make sure you've got that everywhere you go. You can do organic cottage or organic cheese with vegetables, chicken rolled up in a lettuce leaf. There's all sorts of ideas that you can keep around on a regular basis. But the whole idea is to be prepared, okay? We're going to skip page 100 and we're going to go ahead and go into 13, which is mindfulness eating. All right, so mindfulness eating on page number 101, it talks to us about creating a healthy lifestyle doesn't happen by accident. Nobody gets healthy just to get healthy without trying something. We all have to make a concerted effort at being the healthiest we possibly can be. Now, some of our constitutions may show us a little healthier than somebody else because all of our constitutions are different. Some of us have larger weaknesses and some of us have lesser weaknesses. But still, it takes a concerted effort to be healthy. Even the smallest routines can lead to big results. Tiny routines, just like getting your protein in, your protein shake first thing in the morning every day, it could only maybe be 15 or 20 minutes of your day, if that. But that little thing that you do every day builds up to big results down the road. So we need to continue to remember that we're setting a foundation for our success as we move forward from our transformation journey here together. It's not a diet, it's a way of life. We talked about this in week 2. You are not on a diet. You never will be on a diet unless you want to put yourself there. But from the aspect of IN.Form, this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle choice. That's why I like to pin this class as lifestyle awareness for a healthy life. Because that's what we've been doing, is we've been increasing our lifestyle awareness for a healthy life as we move forward. And it's all about learning to eat with mindfulness. Dieting revolves around restrictions. You are not restricted. And if you think you're restricted, then you are going to be restricted. So we need to think about all the possibilities we have to keep ourselves healthy on a regular basis. It's about the excitement of practicing healthy habits, about learning about something you love and getting better every day. But most importantly, it's about the mind and body connection. Hopefully by now, most of you have had a chance to really tune into your bodies, to really get an idea of how your body functions with your emotional or mind status. Are you eating calories for emotional reasons? Are you eating calories because it's that time and you need to? Do you need the nutrition or do you just like the smell and the taste? What is it about the food? What thoughts and feelings are going through your head right now as you go to eat your meal? All of these things are important for us to continually review as we move forward. Observe the food. Think about its origin. Where did it come from and what will it do for you? Did it come from the freezer section after it had been pounded, mashed, ground, mixed with this, mixed with that, this removed, that removed, and then frozen and stuck in a little tray? Or did it come directly from the farm, washed and cleaned, went to the grocery store or the market, and then to you? What did that food go through? It's always important to think about that. If you think about that one little thing every time you eat, where did this food come from? That will undoubtedly tell you whether you should participate in it or not. We want to make sure that you eat with all your senses. That's the other thing. We want you to taste. We want you to smell. We want you to enjoy the process of eating. Eating is one of the things that we've been given for the health of our bodies. It helps us with our strength. It helps us with our memory. It helps us with our healing. It helps us doing so many things. That's a part of our experience, is eating. But we get to create the type of experience we have with eating, making sure that that relationship is healthy. We want to savor each bite. We want to eat slowly. We want to chew our food. Chew it as much as we possibly can to allow our bodies to release the enzymes and the digestive juices that needs to be done for that food to fully digest and for you to fully access the nutrients of that particular food. We want you to be present with your food. Allow your mind to realize that fuel is on the way. Talk to your body. Let your body know. Okay? You can talk to your body and let your body know what you want done with that food. You're giving an instruction. And instead of saying, I can't have that, say, I don't want that, or I don't choose to have it. Remember, the more you limit yourself in your words, the more you're going to be limited in your journey of being healthy. So drop the limitations. Remember that your words are very important when you talk about food. Not only does it communicate to somebody else, but it communicates to your own cells, your own self, right? It communicates to yourself what you can and can't have, and what you choose and choose not to have, okay? Either way, you get to make that choice. That's beautiful. Page number 103. Let's go. Steady and steady wins the race. Even though we've been on this thing for nearly 13 weeks, or 13 weeks, I guess, officially, we got to remember that the journey doesn't stop here. This was just a boost. This was just a foundation that we were establishing, helping you get those habits clear. Remember, it takes how many days to create a habit? Anybody remember? 21 days for a habit and 90 days for a lifestyle. 90 days to create a lifestyle, 21 days for a habit. So that doesn't mean we stop here. Let's start a new habit. What other habit do we want to create for ourselves for the next 21 days? Continue to think about that. It's not over right now. It's a continuation. And if you think about it as a continuation, this continuation is going to last the whole marathon of your whole life. Okay? The whole marathon of your whole life is how this works. So it's continued goal setting, continued thinking about where we want to go next. What do we want to see happen with our physical selves and the health of our bodies? Wellness is not about quick fixes. We are advocating real changes in habit that will last the rest of your life. Numerous research studies suggest that once a diet has ended, weight is regained. What's worse, if a lot of weight has been lost, it will typically be gained in 3 to 5 years' time back and more. And when you think about all the money that's spent out there for people to go to these weight loss programs, and then they jump right back on the bandwagon within 3 to 5 years and then some. It's crazy. We can spend those monies continuing to feed ourselves healthy, take the proper supplements that continue to build and keep us moving forward, getting closer to our health goals that we have at all times. From now on, each moment is an opportunity to learn. Wins and losses can both teach you how to achieve your goals. So remember, it's not about doing everything perfect from here on out. I've always said, it's progress. It's not perfection, it's progress. You can make progress at all times, but perfection is too hard of a standard to hold continually. So don't hold yourself to the perfection standard. Hold yourself to the progress standard. Hold yourself to knowing that, hey, you know what? I gave in, the coworkers brought this in, and I engaged, but you know what? That's fine. I'm going to do better next time, and I'm going to be more aware, and I'm going to have my tool belt full of ideas on how to handle that when that comes by next time. Or, oh man, I ate those cupcakes, and now I don't feel good at all. I'm going to remember this next time. Sometimes we need those things to happen so we can make the right choice next time. Sometimes we need to walk back into Taco Bell and eat that food and then have a horrible experience afterwards for us to remember next time Taco Bell, no, I ain't touching that again. I ain't touching that again. Sometimes we need those experiences, and that's okay if we put ourselves in those experiences on occasion, as long as we learn from them and find better ways to cope with that situation next time. And remember, what our body has to say means a lot. Okay? All right. So cut out the bad habits that no longer serve you. Page number 104. How can I be full? I still have half a bowl left. How can I be full? Okay, I just said that. I was just reading the highlighted. Sorry, guys. So another study found that when servers took the bones away from a table after participants ate chicken wings, people ate 34% more. When servers left the bones on the table, participants ate less. So this tells you that our visual contact with food is huge. So we need to think about that as well when we're eating. Our eyes almost all the time are bigger than our stomachs. I would say almost all the time, bigger than our stomachs, especially if we are not following our eat or snack every 2 to 3 hour rule. Then our eyes get really huge. Do you know that it takes up to 20 minutes for your brain and your stomach to communicate that you're full? It can take up to 20 minutes for the stomach to say, hey brain, we're done down here, we've had enough. And if you're plowing through your food, you're not chewing your bites, you're not slowing down and enjoying the experience, enjoying the conversation around you, then you can end up overeating really, really quickly. One of the things I learned from Jenny Craig that I will never forget, and I'm so grateful for, is something called the mid-meal minute. What they suggest that you do is that you eat a portion of your food, maybe half of it, and you literally put down your fork, maybe scoot yourself back a little bit from the table, and take a mid-meal minute. Allow your body to absorb and work on the nutrients you just put in. Allow your body to communicate what's going on. And a lot of times what will end up happening, you will either stop eating or you will eat significantly less just by taking a mid-meal minute. And I know that's tough with some of us that have short breaks for work and things like that, so we've got to really be smart on how we handle that for ourselves. And there's lots of different ways we can strategize on that if you need help with that. But that mid-meal minute can really make a difference in what happens to your healthy life long term. I also wrote down children frequently do this. I always noticed when my children were younger, they automatically kind of just stopped somewhere in their meal. And of course, they want to get up and run around. And I thought to myself, so we're kind of thinking, okay, you need to sit at the table and either A, finish your plate, which we got taught by the baby boomers to do, or you don't want to get them up running around and coming back to the table. But on the other hand, if they get up and they run around and they don't come back to the table, then that means they've had enough. And we're not encouraging unhealthy behaviors for our children. So just something to kind of think about, especially if you have children. Sometimes it's okay to excuse them from the table maybe, so that way they can give themselves a mid-meal minute and find out if they do need to come back. Because what those children learn during childhood will set their pace for the rest of their lives. And so you as a parent or a grandparent have a very, very strong input on this if you choose to. Page number 105. When it comes to portion control, size does matter. The best diet is the one you don't know you're on. One of the best small changes you can make is keeping your portions small. Okay? Mr. Dr. Wansink says we often gain weight because of the mindless margin. We mindlessly put food on our plate. We mindlessly follow the serving size on whatever we're purchasing, and we don't think about the fact that, hey, maybe we don't need all of this food. So portion control is always very important. Did you know that by cutting a mere 100 calories per day out of your nutrition plan, you can lose 10 pounds a year? And this is what I mean about little things you do. Those little things you do add up, and make big changes over a long time span. So make sure you're giving yourself credit. Make sure you're patting yourself on the back for all those little changes that you're making, because that will result in big changes. We all know weight doesn't come on overnight, does it? Does weight come on overnight for anybody? Did y'all wake up?
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, well, Lynn's the exception to the case. But no, weight typically never comes on overnight. It takes time to gain it, just like it takes time to lose it. So remember, the little changes is what makes the biggest difference. Page number 106, new thoughts, new actions. The best way to get rid of bad habits is to replace them with good habits. And this little chart here gives us an idea of how we can incorporate essential oils. Essential oils can be so healthy for us as we move forward to really help us with our moods and our emotions and kind of where we're at, and assist us with any food or bad habits we have with food. Sabotaging thoughts may be it's okay to give in just this one time, but you need to start creating a response that's better to that. Every time matters, because every time I give in, I reinforce the habit of giving in. And of course they talk about here the essential oil or blend that you could possibly use if you have that kind of a sabotaging thought. Another one, it's okay to eat extra because I've had a hard day and I deserve it. Or the response to this should be, I do deserve to eat dinner. What I don't deserve is to overeat at dinner and then have to face the consequences. And so of course we've got different ideas here that will help with that with essential oil. So please take time on page number 106 and see if any of those sabotaging thoughts or words have had a tendency to come out of your mouth, so you can come up with an awareness plan to attack that. And page number 107, stop the mindless cycle. This I love. I mean, I think sometimes it should be taught maybe earlier in the classes, but I think a lot of you will relate to it being at this point in the classes. So a lot of times what happens, okay, so the mindless cycle centers around events. It centers around events that have happened in your life where we have a particular image or experience related to that particular event that kicks in and sometimes can keep us on the roller coaster of unhealthy habits. So let's say, for instance, we've got an event. You observe an event filtered through beliefs, a certain belief pattern, which trigger another thing, which is your thoughts. You tell yourself a story that gives meaning to the event, which also then triggers your emotions. And then your emotions trigger feelings. And then all of a sudden we've got feelings and we've got emotions that take us into an action. You take action based on an emotion. Your body reacts with stress hormones and coping behavior. So one of the things we need to really evaluate is any events in our life that may not have the most positive feedback to us, may not have the most positive result. And we need to look at our beliefs that we have about these particular events, whether it's getting together with a particular side of the family, could be anything, it could be funerals. I mean, it could be anything that you have a limiting belief about that triggers things in your mind that keep you in a mindless cycle of unhealthy habits. So it's one of the things we need to really look at moving forward. And that's why it's so important to constantly check in with our emotions as we eat. To constantly check in different unique situations. Because that's going to make a big difference in how we move forward here. Bad habits are part of a mindless cycle where negative emotions trigger negative actions, and those actions lead to more negative emotions. Typically, we only focus on one part of the cycle, which is our actions. So by applying mindfulness to our eating, we can begin to pay more attention to the thoughts that created our habits instead. So let's break the cycle, let's think positive, and let's use our minds to build healthy new habits. And let's love every minute of it. All right, so of course for your homework, you guys have got following up with homework on, I guess it would be module number 12 and number 13. I would really like for all of you to reread both of those sections before we meet next week, so that way if there's any questions or active commentary that we can have on that, I would love to follow up with that. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about what happens now. What happens now after IN.Form, okay? And I've got some little booklets out here for you guys that gives you an idea of what IN.Form looks like from here on out when it comes to the maintenance portion of this program. There you go. Did you need one sheet or do you have one? There you guys go. So this is a little booklet that kind of outlines for us all the different, the maintenance program itself. Now, I have people do all sorts of different things from this point, and being this close to the holidays, it kind of makes a little bit of a difference too what people decide to do, because we are looking at a time when a lot of us don't necessarily pay attention to our habits as much. But what this will do is this kind of gives you an idea of what you can do for a maintenance part of the program. Some people want to continue IN.Form, the whole program, because the simple fact that they're still on a journey. Maybe they're trying to hit a specific metabolic age. Maybe they're trying to hit a specific body fat. whoever, whatever it may be. So you really need to be evaluating where you're at right now and where you want to go from here. People do one of three things, basically, when I work with them from this point forward. I have some people who just stick with IN.Form. They keep doing the whole IN.Form program, the nutritional portion, the supplemental portion, and the exercise. Maybe really kind of work on getting some of the things implemented. Maybe they didn't get exercise implemented. They're going to go ahead and start getting implemented with exercise now. But they continue with the IN.Form as a whole. Some people, after they get to this point, they just feel that they really kind of need a break. They want to continue working on their transformation journey with IN.Form, but they need a little bit of a break. And this is where the maintenance program comes in really well at. Some people will get on and follow the maintenance program for about a month, maybe even just 2 weeks, just depending on the time of the year, what's going on in their life, and then they plan to just jump right back onto IN.Form. But by going on the maintenance program, you're still keeping yourself accountable. You're still helping yourself keep really healthy habits, but you may not be as stringent on trying to make a particular goal during that time period, okay? And then of course, then I have people who are done with maybe getting to where they want to be ultimately, but they want to maintain the healthy successes they've already had. So then they just continue on the maintenance program indefinitely. And so this, what we're talking about tonight, is the maintenance program. So if you guys, I don't know if you can see it on the page. Page number 10 is this one right here. This is the maintenance program. So just like a lot of you purchased the IN.Form kit from Nature's Sunshine, there is a maintenance kit also, all right? And that maintenance kit has 2 bags of your IN.Form protein. So instead of 4 bags, as our kit had, it's going to have 2 bags of the IN.Form protein. You're going to get your probiotic, 1 probiotic, which you'll still continue to take. It's still really important for us to continue to put the good fish in our gut so we can maintain this healthy gut. A lot of us started off right here with an unhealthy gut going into this. So we want to maintain that progress we've made by continuing to put the good fish in, put the good healthy probiotics in. Yes, Ethan?
Does it have the soy in there too?
The soy is no longer available. You may be able to get it singularly, but I don't think you can get it in the kit. I have to double check that. Last time I looked, you could still get it by itself, but not as in the kit. Now, instead of getting the berberine, and the berberine I would only continue to suggest to people who have blood sugar imbalances. I myself have a blood sugar imbalance from my past, so I continue to take 1 berberine a day just to help me continue with balancing my blood sugars here on out. And it really does a really good job for me. But 1 a day is enough. But that's me. You may have somebody else who has no issues with blood sugars whatsoever, and so they may not continue on the berberine. But what we're going to do instead of the berberine is the Ultrabiome DTX. Where you see the Purify in the upper right-hand corner there, we talked about this a couple of times, but that Purify has changed into the Ultrabiome DTX. So this has now replaced the Purify. Same formula, different name, different communication and understanding what this name is. This will help you continue to detox heavy metals, residues from prescription drugs. It'll help pull out toxicity. It'll continue the pattern of relieving toxins from the body as berberine did. Berberine helps to balance your blood sugars, but also helps push out toxins. You don't necessarily need the help with the blood sugars as much. We still want to push out those toxins, so we would be doing the Ultrabiome DTX as part of the maintenance portion of this program. So make sure you cross that out, IN.Form Purify. It's going to move to the Ultrabiome DTX. Now, if you order a kit, most likely it'll still have the Purify in it, but rest assured it's still the same formula. Like I said, just different packaging. And then of course, we're going to also get a box of our IN.Form Cardio Kit. And the IN.Form Cardio Kit is one of your basics. It's got your multivitamin in there. It's got your essential fatty acids in there. These are things we need to input on a daily basis because it's very difficult for us to get those nutrients by themselves. So that is part of your, kind of like for the rest of your life type of idea. You're also getting the Cardio XLDL, with cardiovascular disease being the #1 fatality for men and the #1 fatality for women from menopause on. We want to continue to protect our hearts as much as possible. So with that cardio XLDL, that helps us do that. So when you get the In.Form maintenance kit, it's 2 bags of protein, 1 probiotic, 1 Purify and/or Ultrabiome DTX, and your cardio kit, okay? And I think that if I remember last time, it's like $60 less than what the actual In.Form kit is itself, because you're getting less bags of protein. So if you guys want to turn the page to the next, this is what we're getting for the nutritional portion of our In.Form maintenance program. We're sticking with a low glycemic load maintenance meal plan, which means we're still going to be doing 3 meal proteins. We're still going to be doing 2 snack proteins. We're going to be doing 6+ non-starchy greens or vegetables. We have now, what we're doing is we're adding in our greens with our vegetables. So no longer are we separating those out as we were with the In.Form metabolic age support kit as a whole. So now greens and vegetables go together. So we're going to be doing 6+ vegetables. If you guys remember, I gave you this figure once. It takes 5 times more nutrients to heal from a particular dis-ease or health issue than it does to maintain. So that's one of the reasons why we were doing so many greens and so many vegetables on In.Form, is because we were working on healing. So we needed that extra nutrition to help us with that healing portion opposed to the maintenance portion, okay? Starchy vegetables 1, and by the way, the next page is going to give us some ideas of the foods that are allowed on here, okay? Your fruit is optional, 0 to 2 a day. Whole grains, 0 to 1 a day. Legumes, 0 to 2 a day. Dairy optional, 0 to 2 a day. And of course, your oils and your fats still stay at 5 per day. Just like the essential fatty acids that are in your cardio kit, it's important that you continue to get good, healthy fats in every single day. That's a part of your longevity. That's a part of assistance with your hormones, with your joints, with your cardiovascular health, with your brain, all of those things. And of course, water. We don't slack on our water. We continue on our water goals. We continue to work towards half our body weight in ounces per day, or up to 100 ounces per day, depending on our body size. So that is the maintenance plan for In.Form itself. If you want to go to the next page on the meal plan here, it's going to give you a breakdown of what foods are considered to be in what categories. Protein's pretty much the same. Nuts is pretty much the same. Nuts still count as protein with a side benefit of the fats. And now we've got a big list of non-starchy vegetables and greens, which basically took your leafy greens and it took your vegetables and put them all together in this category. And we're doing 6+ of these per day. Starchy vegetables. Now, there are better starchy vegetables and there are less better starchy vegetables. So we want you to focus on the ones that give you the most nutrition. White potatoes are not a part of that. But your purple, your red, your sweet potatoes, yellow potatoes, lots more nutrition than your regular white potatoes. Okay, the amount of starch you get with a regular white potato versus the nutrition just doesn't equate. You need to do sweet potatoes or red potatoes or those like Yukon Gold, I think is what they call them, potatoes. They have more nutrients in them, okay? We got yams on here, acorn squash, butternut squash, parsnips, plantains, which is a form of a banana. All of these starchy vegetables would be allowed 1 time per day on the maintenance program. Your fruits pretty much all stay the same. We still want to continue to avoid dried fruits and fruit juices on a regular basis, unless we're maybe doing a little bit in our smoothie like we did last week with the orange juice, but we had some of the fiber and other things in there to reduce the sugars. Question, Ethan?
So can we have curly fries?
Curly? Huh?
Curly fries.
Curly fries? Not unless they're orange. It's still the frying process. Huh?
Yeah, sweet potato fries.
Yeah, at moderation for the sweet potato fries, because we are frying in oil, and then that oil actually changes consistency with heat, And honestly, you know, potatoes got more water in them, and oil's got oil. They don't really mix. You know, oil and water don't mix. You think about that? So it's not so great on your digestion. I know that if any of my children or myself eat any kind of fries when we're traveling, and we eat a fry that's not done properly, we all get, because it just doesn't digest. It's not proper food combining. It doesn't combine well in the gut. So if you're gonna do something like that, I would definitely do it at home, where you can control the type of oil, and where you control the amount of oil, and you can control the portion size. Bake? Wonderful. Wonderful. It just depends on what you do with it after you bake it. What you put on it. Yes, Ethan?
What's in the noodles and the when you have spaghetti and the...
So we're gonna get to that next, okay? So we're gonna go to whole grains next. Now, we need to be careful with whole grains, because sometimes whole grains are not all they're supposed to be. We think, okay, well, if it's brown, it's healthy. Not necessarily true. You know, a lot of times they use caramel coloring to make that bread look brown, to make you think from a visual standpoint it's healthy, and it's not, okay? But these are the type of whole grains we would want to gravitate towards. Amaranth and rice. Now, when I say rice, I don't mean Uncle Ben's instant rice. You need to have rice that needs to be cooked. Because if it's an instant rice, that means that certain nutrients have been stripped from that rice, and it's not going to have the same nutrient value and the same fiber amount that it would if you were to eat a rice that's not instant. Instant anything is not good. Keep that in mind. Instant anything is not good, because that means they've had to do something to that food product to make it instant. All right? We're looking at barley, couscous, spelt, pasta. There's a lot of options, especially next door here, where you can get quinoa noodles. You can get spelt noodles. You can get all sorts of different types of noodles that aren't wheat derivative. Because if you get a wheat derivative, you know it's been stripped, you know it doesn't have the nutrients in it. Try to go back to the original grains as much as you can, which is going to be the amaranth, the spelt, and the quinoa. All of those are very much original grains that haven't been altered like the wheat plant has. Bulgur, kamut, sorghum, teff, semolina, you can all see here, even almond flour, it's a good idea. Coconut flour can be used as well. I like to cook with spelt flour personally. Spelt is actually more original than most all your grains altogether. So just look at your options. There are options out there, all right? And just remember, if you are going to do spaghetti or some kind of noodles, keep your noodle portion low. Just load the vegetables on in the sauce. Make a good healthy sauce, tons of vegetables, and just make it saucy. Yeah. Or do zucchini noodles. Has anybody ever had zucchini noodles? I love to do that. In fact, when we have pasta, because my children like pasta a lot, we make a big bowl of pasta, and I make a big bowl of zucchini noodles. And I give myself a small little portion of noodles just to say I had some. And I pile the zucchini noodles in, pile my sauce in, and I'm good to go. And I can barely even taste the difference. But the vegetable content is way high compared to your typical spaghetti type of meal. So use, what do they call them, zoodles? Is it zoodles? That's what they call them. You're really easy to do. Really easy to do. All right, so legumes, you can see here, same thing, recommended foods for legumes. Dairy is the same thing on our IN.Form program. Oils and fats the same. Beverages the same. Condiments and sweeteners, all of this is the same. So you can see really the biggest differences between the maintenance and the actual IN.Form is going to be your vegetables and greens being put together. We're adding a starchy vegetable. We're adding a whole grain. And actually there's plenty of food here for us to eat. We're never going to starve on IN.Form, just like before. Any questions anybody has on the maintenance portion of IN.Form? Anyone? Nope. Okay, so I don't believe you guys didn't get the Ultra Biome DTX handout last week, right? I don't think you guys did, but I think the other class did. So this gives you a little more information on the Ultrabiome DTX program. There you go, honey. I love this stuff. I had to shake mine up real quick before I came today. There you go. That gives you a little more idea what that Ultrabiome DTX, aka Purify, does. What's that? Sure. Okay. Next thing I'm going to give you guys is your goals evaluation. I would really like everybody to take a few minutes and fill this out. If it feels too heavy for you to fill it out tonight, fill it out this week and bring it with you next week. But the more information I can have tonight, it'll help me set up to have a more intimate talk with you next week on what your goals are and what I can possibly do to help facilitate that. Okay? There you go. Do you want one as well, Lynn? Okay. So these are your personal goals evaluations. Where do you want to go from here? And of course, Shireen's going to share some information with us as well. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward. The next thing that you don't need to fill out tonight, but you definitely need to bring with you next week is an IN.Form class evaluation. I always aim to make the classes better. I always like to get information from all of my participants on what I can do to make it more valuable or whatever may be the case. So please, if you would, fill out an IN.Form class evaluation for me and bring it next week, okay?
Don't answer.
Don't answer, okay. Don't ask, don't answer. Something else I'm handing out to everybody tonight is my herbal medicine kit extended, okay? I have a lot of people who I work with over the time period of doing this, and it seems like everybody kind of has questions on what they can do naturally for herbs to help with all sorts of different health conditions. So I went ahead and I put a copy of this together for everybody. I definitely would put this in a wonderful, safe place.
Thank you, ma'am.
But these are some of these are my top recommendations to always, always keep on hand if you can. Build your medicine kit slowly, whatever you got to do. Get in on specials as specials come out, whatever. But work on building this herbal medicine kit and as much as you can. And by building it, then you're going to have things around that are instantaneous. Instead of grabbing the Benadryl, we can grab the fenugreek and thyme or the ALJ. We can make better choices for ourselves and our families on a regular basis by keeping some of these around. So definitely spend some time looking at this week if you would. And of course, if you have it, then it'll be great. If we're on the phone or texting, I can have you take a look at what you need to look at if you've got something going on in the family that needs to be addressed and you want to do it from a natural perspective. This last thing that I'm giving you is, well, I don't know if it's the last thing. Is it the last thing? Yeah. Pearson's Next Door is having their annual open house next week. Or no, this week, sorry. This is on Thursday. 20% off everything in the store on Thursday. This is a really big event for Pearson's. They give out little goodie bags with all sorts of free stuff and extras that they get from their vendors. As long as you spend $10 or more, I think is the minimum on that. So come in, spend your $10, get the goodie bag. Vendors are going to be here giving out samples of all sorts of different things. It's just a great day to come to Pearson's and learn more about what they do. Plus, you'll get your 30% off coupon for their 30% off weekend sale also if you're not already signed up on their email. And if you're not signed up on their email to get their 30% off coupons on your email, definitely do that because you get 2 coupons, 30% off of 2 different items on their coupon weekends that they have every single month. So just want to make sure you guys are all aware of that. I plan to be there as well. I'm going to be doing some Rejuvenate samples for people and giving out more information on Rejuvenate. Would love to have you guys there, and hopefully y'all can come. So also another thing right before I let Shiree come on up is that I am going to be opening up for doing consultations for my informers. I do one-on-one consultations including iridology, applied kinesiology, I do the whole herbal, health consultations where I pull together all your health background and help you work with specific issues. So that is something that I do quite a bit of in between doing classes. And so just to kind of let you know, I am going to be more open for that in the next few weeks if that's something you're interested in. Or if you want to learn more about it, let me know. I do give a special discount to all my people who've been IN.Form participants on those consultations to help encourage you to come in if you think you need some extra specific help to get to your health goals, whatever those may be. And then as far as classes next year, I am in the process of putting together some classes. We may be doing like a 9-week class is what I'm looking at doing. And for anybody who has paid the regular or the pre-registration price for the classes, will be allowed to come to the classes for no charge. So just like Sheila comes and Lynn comes, they participate already, but they can come anytime and enjoy and the information and smoothies and things like that. So that's kind of how I work that to keep it as much on even as I can. Any questions before I turn over to Shiree? All right.
Did you send out your email from last week?
You know, I did, Sheila, and
I didn't get
I
one.
did, but I didn't send it out to the weekend because my computer was being again. And I thought of that today, and I just turned off the computer and I thought, oh shoot, I bet you I forgot Sheila on that list. I have everybody segmented in IN.Form groups.
each time.
I know, I will definitely get it to you. All right, so Shiree's gonna share some great information for us.
Okay, so you guys probably feel a little bit overwhelmed because there's a lot of options.
Options
But
are
you
good.
can go to the maintenance program, you can continue the IN.Form program. If there's something specific you feel like you need help, supplementation or obviously health assessment, Char's also got that available. Sometimes we just need help with accountability and to keep progressing in whichever program we choose to do, and so I'm going to help you with some options with that. Me and Char are both obviously available to answer questions anytime, but if you're looking to do something that's going to help you to track progress or to work on your daily habits, I'm going to give you a few options. So hopefully this all works good because it worked good earlier. Oh, well there you go. Now everybody's, oh, I was going to say you're going to know my code. Okay, so before I give you any information, because I'm going to give you guys something to take home, that way you don't have to remember all of this, as well as some prices for those that are interested. And maybe you need help with doing some exercise on your own and you need a program to do that. Maybe you need the accountability of having somebody help you with that every single week, but maybe you just want it once a week, twice a week. With the group, there's a lot of options, so I'll give you a price list for that. Maybe you need help with your diet or need help with continuing to make changes or to implement what you're already doing. So we're going to look at a few different options. The one that I've been working with lately that I'm really enjoying is called Pro Coach. And the neat thing about that is that when you go on there, you're going to fill out all your information. I'm going to get your information and I'm going to be your coach. And so basically on a daily basis, I have the opportunity to interact with you so that when you do a daily habit or whenever you reach a goal, or whenever you make goals, I can encourage that. And so there's always open communication with that program, whether you just do the program or whether you actually choose to schedule sessions and do some one-on-one with me. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that program online because video's always so much better than what I can say. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. But actually, you know what I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to get to the page yourself, and you guys can go from there. So you have to do it exactly like this page that I give you. I've tried it both ways and it does not work unless you do it exactly. So you get to enter in a pretty long address here, but I'm going to enter this in. Where's it at? There we are. And I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing that way you guys can see, even though I've already entered it in before. This is going to take you to my page. It's going to give you more information about this program. This is a great program if you're a person that wants help on a daily basis to work towards your goals and towards your habits. It's going to take you through really slowly and progressively. You're not going to start with big habits. They're going to start really small. And also, of course, with the accountability. So this is probably what I would say would be your, what do you have? You have your bronze, your platinum, your gold. I would say this is your gold star program. This is for somebody who's really devoted and really wants to make big changes because it's a year-long program. So we're going to start with the gold and then we'll go with some easier options, and you guys decide what's best for you. And if you have questions, you can let me know. Almost there. There we go. So I'm going to go to, so this is my web page, and this is where you can get more information about this. I'm going to scroll down. Well, I might look at a little bit with this, but I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here to video that I can share with you. This is going to have information about what I do and what I focus on. For me, I enjoy strength training and helping people with weight loss, mobility, rehab. I've done a lot with that with clients, but also because of my injuries and the joint condition I have. And so I've had the opportunity to do that. And the nutrition coaching is something I've always done that I'm just doing more fully now. Oh, good grief. So I'm just gonna play, I think it's a 3-minute video for you guys, and hopefully this all.
My mom was always on a diet, and she had a very unhealthy relationship to food.
No. Try it one more time. I didn't have any problems earlier. Of course, now that I'm sitting here, standing here. Hopefully this works. I'll try my best.
Did you plug in your own hotspot to set up on that TV?
No, I'm just using my phone internet with the phone. It was working fine earlier, so I wasn't worried about it, but that's all right. That's about right. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to show you guys some testimonials from different individuals and the transformation that they made. So, this is obviously going to level 2 and 3 with this guy. So, this is an average every day. He obviously had big goals. I feel like she was a great example, and you can tell, I don't know if she had kids, but I think she may have. And so, these are regular, everyday individuals and the changes they made. And it's like I said, this is your gold standard. This is a year-long program. This is gradually making changes to help you to maintain changes. This isn't just a short-term plan. Okay. So, maybe I'll exit out of that for a minute and we'll come back and see if the internet's a little bit better, and I'll show you the other two. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly show you a couple other options you can do. You can also keep track of your exercise as well as your diet with different apps. Now keep in mind, your goal is to be able to control your portion sizes and to know what to do so you don't have to count calories. Sometimes we have a hard time with that. We have to learn to measure it out. There's guidelines in the IN.Form book on portion size based on your hands. That's actually the same type of guidelines they use with the Pro Coach program. So we're teaching you portions. But sometimes we need to know what you're eating. You can write it down, or if it's easier for you, you can enter it into an app. But what I like about MyFitnessPal is that I can also hook up with friends and I can see what they're doing on it. Kashar had talked about social media. They're incorporating this in a bunch of these apps because they recognize that it's a motivation for us when other people are working on their goals too. And so I have some friends on the app that if they log on so many days, or if they lose weight, or they reach a goal, it tells me. And then I can tell them, good job. So it's really simple. I'm going to give you just a real quick example. So it usually pulls up things you normally eat already, which is kind of nice. And so if I want to enter in, like, say I had my IN.Form pea protein, I'm going to add that. I'm just going to add a few things. And then I had almond, let's see, I'm just gonna go ahead and enter it in too to show you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna add some unsweetened almond milk. And I'm gonna add one more thing, because I'm gonna show you how you can figure out. I'm gonna add strawberries. And so this is gonna help me, and what I mainly like to use it for myself is to make sure I get enough protein. I find when I get enough protein in my diet, then I don't get too much of the other things usually. I don't get as much fat and carbs if I'm eating enough protein. And so you can see how balanced this is. Maybe for some people the carbohydrates you might want a little lower or higher. Obviously this is an individual thing, but the neat thing is I can see how I'm doing for the day. I particularly think that some of these goals should be individual, and some of these programs will put you at higher levels. It's going to give you the minimum 20% on protein. I feel like most people need to be higher than that. That's the only thing I would say is the downside with some of the programs that I've looked at or some of the apps is that they can give you the recommendations, but just keep in mind you're an individual and it might vary for you. So I have what goals I like to reach. So, and then if I want to enter in for the day what I did for exercise, I'm going to enter in cardio. You can count light housework on here, which we talked about was physical activity, which is obviously important. But I enjoy circuit training, so adding strength training with a little bit of cardio. I'm going to enter that in. And you'll notice that it changes at the top of my page. It changes calories it's going to give me. Another thing I feel is that the calories are individual as well. Sometimes it can give you a weight loss program, but if you're consistently doing restrictive dieting, sometimes you can slow your metabolism. So just keep in mind this needs to be something that's gradual. And so use it as a guideline, but you still might, don't be upset if you get 1,300 that day out of your 12 or 15 or 16. Obviously, each person is individually different. And I'm a small bone person, so it doesn't give me very much. It'll give you a whole lot more. But so this is one app that you can use, and I like it, like I said, because I can add friends. And the neat thing is if you guys chose that maybe you just occasionally want to do a session with me just to keep you accountable with your eating, the cool thing is that if I add you on here, then I can look at what you're logging in. And so I can see what you're doing. So that's another neat thing about FitnessPal. The next one I'm going to look at is Spark People. I really love this one because I feel like this one, the exercise portion of it is awesome because it actually shows you how to do exercises, which is great. Because sometimes we need to learn form and how to do exercises correctly. Maybe we want to do some on our own. Then this app is a great app for that because it actually has some options on how you can do that. Well, that's an actual stretch. But I'm just going to show you real quickly. So this is obviously a stretch that's very simple, but you can add stretches to your program. I'm going to look at something a little bit more. Let's do, I'm not saying you should do this exercise, I just want to show you how it works. But I think this is a great option for ones to learn how to do exercise and to add that as part of your program. They have everything in here you can imagine as far as exercises go. So this also has the option to add your food, add your exercise. It shows you how to do the exercises, which is one of my favorite things about it. So you guys can learn to do programs on your own if you need to. Let's see if this is going to let me. Is it further to the top? Yeah, it was further up. It'll make you guys sick here going through this. How did it must still not be. A little slower. Where is that? Let's see. It'll let me do it. I don't think it is. Well, this video is playing on too. I don't know, Shar.
Sometimes the internet here just doesn't work so great.
I know. And it was working great earlier, so I hope we'd be okay. Does anybody have any questions before I give you the handouts, and then next time we can always explore more? Anybody have any questions? Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show that to you. And don't forget, you guys have these In.Form food journals too if you're not using them, because they help you with the portion sizes as well as the recommendations. Now with the maintenance program, you're going to get to add some more grains if you're to that point. But you know, if you want to do something in handwriting and you don't want to use an app or do something online, that's always an option. So I'm going to hand you guys out some of these, and I don't think this is
My mom was always on a diet, and she had a very unhealthy relationship to food. And watching that, I ended up creating really unhealthy eating habits and not having a great body, like I was overweight. Because I'd seen a couple of my friends do the program and have absolutely unbelievable transformations, both physically and emotionally.
I'm a scout leader with my older boys. I've been doing it for several years. I wasn't able to keep up with them anymore, and it was taking its toll. The large backpacks and portaging and all those, carrying the gear, I was behind instead of ahead. And now, after the program, they're having trouble keeping up with me.
You start by telling us all about yourself. Everything from your goals, your health challenges, even your daily routine. From there, we customize your program and begin a 12-month coaching process. Every day, you'll have a lesson and a nutrition or lifestyle habit sent to you. You can either read the daily lessons or listen to them on the go. And it's important to know that every lesson is designed to help you better understand and practice the habit you're working on at the time. So whether it's eating more protein or getting enough fruits and vegetables, we'll help you develop the skills required for long-term success. Instead of just learning what you should be doing, our habit-based approach gives you the chance to practice doing these things day in and day out. We even check in to make sure you're doing your habits. You'll let us know by clicking yes or no within your habit card. Just so you know, all those yeses add up as we track your progress. Everything from body changes to habit consistency are recorded within the program. But let's not forget your coach, who will be working closely with you throughout the program. They'll provide regular feedback on lessons, assignments, and habits, and you'll be able to reach out directly through the program itself.
I got so much more than I ever imagined, because I think I walked into this program thinking, okay, I'm gonna have the body, like I'm gonna have this physical transformation, and what I got was so much more. It's taught me habits that now are a part of my life, that I can't go back to how I did things before.
You end up with a bunch of cliches, right? It changes your life. You know, I've always said that the way I look and my physique is a side effect of the program. You know, it just changes how you think about yourself. You learn how to change. It's really getting to understand and learn your body and getting into some brand new habits that you didn't think you needed.
Yay, it worked. Okay. So that kind of gives you guys a gist of the program. And keep in mind that whatever you guys choose to do, if you choose that you need more supplement support and more help with your health, and Shar works with you on that, but maybe you need help being consistent with it or implementing it on a regular basis, maybe that's where I can come in. And so depending on what your goals are, that's going to be a big determining factor on what you choose to do. My prices on personal training are standard here, but this nutrition coaching section is only for In.Form. So, I mean, I gave you guys some cards and some extra deals for In.Form that you can give to somebody if you want to refer, because I do a little referral program, but don't quote the nutrition prices, because I'm giving you guys 60% off that program, so I don't plan on doing that with everybody. So if you have any more questions, let us know, and you'll have a whole week to think about things, and maybe you guys can decide which aspect works for you. So, but I'll give you guys info, and we'll finish up. So, you're welcome.
Do you do weights?
Do I do weights, like personally or with people? Personally, I don't do, I used to do lots of weights, real heavy weights, but unfortunately I've had a few injuries, so I mainly do upper body weights. But I wish I could still do, I would still be doing it if I could, I can tell you that. I'm sorry about the typo on there. I got here and realized it. Sorry about that. You ready?
All right, so we got lots of different options. So nobody's going to be left in the dust trying to figure out what to do next. So make sure you guys get through those in-form goals evaluations for yourselves, and so that way you can give us kind of an idea of what direction you're going. And of course, we'll be keeping up with you guys on any other information that we have as we're going forward. Look forward to seeing everybody next Monday night. I am going to make some cherry lemon smoothies tonight. We're going to experiment with putting a little bit of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, into our smoothies, and it really makes a big difference in how they taste. It's actually really quite yummy. So have a wonderful week. We'll see everybody next week on Monday. I'll let you know the time as we get closer, and have a healthy week.